Good morning, everybody, and welcome to year 495, The Fall of Uther.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
It's wonderful to see everybody this morning. It's been a little while since we've been able to play together, so I'm really excited that we're finally back at it. Obviously, I think a lot of people in chat are all talking about how, yes, the show will be going on hiatus after this episode, and we will just kind of have to see what happens in the future. And all I can say about that right now is that it's entirely because of me, and it's entirely because of something very exciting that I can't talk about at all yet, but I will make a big announcement about very soon. So, thank you all for understanding. However, we are gathered here today to say a fond farewell to an excellent role-playing game and these excellent players of ours. So, before we get started, why don't we hear what y'all have been up to since we've seen each other last? Eric.
Wow.
How have you
Me
been?
first. Okay. Hey. pretty good. I've been obsessed with Mouse Guard lately, and just been doing a lot of prep on streams. I've also been mini painting again, and so life's been pretty good for me.
Excellent. I saw that Roleplay had a Mouse Guard show yesterday, was it?
Yeah, they did a one-shot yesterday, and Adam shouted me out at the end and in the Q&A with a
Awesome.
link to my games, so that was awesome.
Super great. Jess, how have you been?
I've been good. I have been drawing a lot. I did a lot of art for the Risen show.
Yeah.
That was super fun. Which premiered, last week?
Yes,
Right?
last
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Misclicks D&D
Yeah.
Risen over
Where-
on twitch.tv/D&D.
Where am I? So I did that. I've been working a bunch, and I don't know, I've been chilling. I had a couple free Saturdays, so I went to the farmer's market like a normal person. It was nice. That's me. That's all I do. I draw and I go to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
good
What a
times.
life. And Kira, how about you? How have you been?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for asking, Steven.
Wonderful.
Yeah, what have I done? So last week, 2 weeks ago, we did Origins, and it went great. Our numbers are higher, and it's amazing and wonderful. At Games on Demand, so that's good. Yay, more indie games for the public.
That's excellent.
Yeah. And then played some Night Witches last week online, which was super fun as part of the Roll20 something. So that was
Oh yeah,
good
Yeah.
too.
I forgot about Roll20Con, and I totally forgot about Miss.
Yeah, I forgot too. I did that. I did that thing
Yeah.
too.
Like that was just last week.
Yeah.
Time. It's a flat circle. And last week also was episode 8 of Twin Peaks, and it's the best episode of TV I've ever seen. Everyone should watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing. I can't say anything else.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Okay.
saw that was amazing?
What'd you see?
Baby Driver.
Oh, I saw it too.
Oh my god. Did you also think it was amazing?
It was okay.
Okay.
You're the first person that hasn't been like, oh my god.
What is Baby Driver?
Baby
I don't
Driver
know, it's a
is-
thing.
It was good. It was good.
It's Edgar Wright's new movie.
Okay.
And it's just like an action car chase movie, but
I-
there's some really impressive direction from Edgar Wright. However, the first thing that I said to my friend when I walked out of it was, I'm surprised that movie didn't pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the downer about it. But it's basically a car chase musical. Like,
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
in.
All right.
it has
So-
and it has like Don Draper in it, and like whatever his real name is, and all these great cast. Like, I can't remember. The cast is amazing.
The
Yep.
poster is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really rad.
That cast is fantastic.
Yep.
I'm going to be doing a sprawl game soon
Yeah.
that I realize is kind of basically this, but set on Mars.
Nice.
So I need to watch this movie.
Definitely.
What?
Go do it.
This is awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, I'm gonna look up showtimes.
I was thoroughly entertained. And Luke, how have you been, man?
Hey, friends. Pretty good. Been like pretty chill overall. The work's, of course, always crazy busy. I have been playing a lot of Burning Wheel lately. I have maybe designed some new life paths for Burning Wheel that I might be convinced to release. Maybe. There might be a lot of them. And I took my mom to see Hamilton last night, which was a really fun experience. My mom was squealing like she was seeing the Beatles. Like it was just like I had to like shush her because she was just like having a meltdown.
So she's a prior fan of Hamilton.
Yeah, she was a teacher. She teaches school in North Carolina, high school English. So yeah, she like it's kind of I guess it's in the air in that world.
Yeah.
But we had somehow I managed to get like incredible seats. Like we had like 7th row seats, so we could like see the actors sweating and like see the spit coming off their lines. So it was fun. I got to admit, it was really charming.
That's excellent. I still haven't even listened to the Hamilton soundtrack.
I mean, I would never do that on my own. I don't listen to musical soundtracks at all. But
it seems
I mean,
like such a popular thing.
It is a super popular thing.
I'm sorry, Steven. I gotta go. I gotta.
Yeah,
thing.
I know. I knew
I'll see
that
ya.
would be shocking to Eric at least. Yeah.
Wait, what? Did I miss something?
Eric loves Hamilton.
I love Hamilton.
I see. It's lovable. It's very, very charming.
Awesome. That sounds like a great time. All right. Why don't we see what our characters are up to in the world of King Arthur Pendragon? So, can anybody help me remember what happened last time? Eric? You're usually pretty good about remembering.
Yeah. It was the Battle of something.
Yes. It was. Let's see if there's a specific.
I look at
name.
my glory, and I have it written down there. It's the Battle of St. Alban.
Yes.
Alban, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so much
Oh,
fun.
that's right. It was St. Alban with the river and the lakes and the trying the flanking maneuvers in the south.
Yep. Exactly.
Failing and failing
Failing.
and
Yeah.
failing.
So,
We did really bad.
yeah, what would be the word? Quagmire.
Yeah.
might describe the term. We got off on a really bad foot in the Battle of St. Alban. I don't remember the pretense of the battle though. Why we were there? Can someone help me out at the start?
You were battling against the Saxon king Octa, who had captured St. Albans.
That's right. King Octa, after we gave him back with the ransom, returned with a vengeance, right? And King Octa took St. Alban, and we were not okay with that. However, since King Octa had a penchant for us, we spun it that our failures were not necessarily failures. It was just that we were like double or triple covered.
Yep.
If this was a sports ball reference.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
One of those.
King Octa.
So yeah.
Wait, we weren't double or
observed
triple covered in
from afar.
blankets?
Yeah,
Was it-
exactly. Yeah, exactly. You would be surprised how many blankets come out in sports. No, so ultimately, our high hopes we got dashed quite quickly as we were unable to keep our ground in the fight, and we ended up falling back and then kind of just holding the line until basically the fight kind of wrapped up around us while we were just entrenched. Fighting off elite units and then going back off between javelineers. It seemed that they were throwing everybody they could at us.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I think we all survived.
Did
Only
Rutherford get
Dwinwin.
taken?
Oh yeah,
I surrendered and was taken for ransom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rutherford was ransomed, but
Mhm.
Dwinwin was hurt, right?
Yeah.
Dwinwin is
Yeah.
gravely wounded.
Yeah.
Towards the
Now,
end.
at the end of the session last time, we did all of the bookkeeping required for tracking Dwinwin's eventual recovery to health. So we know that she will. But as of this very moment, as you survey the settling dust of the battlefield and the horses and piles of armor across the battlefield,
Yes.
people are attending to their Saxon capturees, I guess, captured
Capturees.
Saxon warriors.
Captives,
and
maybe?
of course, the two of you, Elaine and Nidian, have a moment to look around and realize that Hrethric has not been returned. That I think Sir Lycus made a charge for Hrethric being carried away across the battlefield, but wasn't able to break through the defense of the Wotan's Chosen, who were protecting him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, of course.
Are we role playing that? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, sure. Yeah.
No, that's fine. I just been like, Elaine, where's Hrethric? Like coming over to you, like on my poor Rouncers and through everything.
I don't know. I'm very upset.
Find him. I'm gonna check on Dwinwin. I saw Dwinwin take a bad blow, and on it, and like let's make sure. What do I say? I say something imperative, like make haste or something like that, right?
Totally.
As a
Oh, I make haste.
yeah.
Awesome.
I make that haste.
Are you just like galloping around the battlefield, is saying, have you asking anybody who's collecting weapons or whatever?
Yeah, I'm a little panicked right now.
Yeah.
My buddy's gone.
Cool. Let's see. I wonder if there is a skill I can ask you to roll here. There might not be.
Recognize?
Find Hrethric.
Yeah.
Find Hrethric.
or is it just perception or whatever?
Awareness?
Awareness.
Yeah. Why don't you give me an awareness roll?
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Oh God, Windows.
Intrigue.
Actually, here's what you can do.
Okay, sorry.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. I was gonna have you make a battle roll to get a bonus to your awareness.
Okay.
So go ahead and make a battle roll. Let's just see how you do. Oh yeah, you do. So I would give you a +5 to your awareness, which would bring it to 19, making your solution a success. So yeah, I think based on your knowledge of battle in general, and also your combing the battlefield and speaking with the attendants who are beginning to carry the dead off in carts, you hear rumor of a number of Uther's knights being kidnapped, captured, and presumably held for ransom is usually what happens to them by the armies of King Octa. And so let us zoom over to where Hrethric is. So you've been captured by these Wotan's Chosen, who are now marching with you, and you're hearing the shouts and cries in native Saxon, Germanic, I guess, of what needs to be done, and you're hearing that there's being a general retreat being called back to where is it? Back to Hastings, and you're quickly, I guess, clapped in irons, and then
I fie to that. I'm a man of honor.
Okay, so you just protest and you claim that you'll cooperate.
Yeah, I say I'm a man of honor, and I pledge my parole. So.
All right, I think.
So yeah, I mean, and if they do it again, I will like lock eyes, like nose to nose with them, and say no.
Yeah, I think that probably they see that you are a Saxon like them, and they listen to you a little faster than the other knights. Some of the other knights, they have to protest a little more, or say hand me a sword and let's be done with this if you insist on treating me foully or whatever. But they listen to you fairly quickly. So you end up finding yourself surrounded by a group of Saxon warriors who are all armed but respectful, and you all begin marching away.
I surrendered to the horse skull warriors, by the way.
Okay, right.
Nothing so noble as the Wotan's Chosen. I actually, that was right before I think that they met Wotan's Chosen, because I'm looking at it on my sheet where I got knocked out. So it was horse skull warriors.
Okay, cool.
Like, you guys look cool.
Well, so obviously they bring you back to the camp, and they break camp. And they file out of St. Albans, of course. When you're here and you look around, what are the parts of this experience of being amongst these Saxon folk that are the most familiar to you?
That are the most familiar. That's interesting. Right. Well, I mean, I guess I just catch little bits of the culture that I recognize from my grandmother.
Yeah.
That she would tell me about on her knee.
Has it been that long since you lived among the Saxon people?
Yeah, buddy. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Where's my story? Where are you? There you are. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, my dad swore in for Uther, so it would have been the grandparents that were kind of on the in between worlds there.
Right. Got it. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So it's more that you've heard things through these stories that your grandmother told you rather than seen them for yourself. But yeah, you're starting to hear or see, raven feathers tied in hair. Someone else has a black cloak that's embroidered in a pattern of raven feathers. It's not literally the same cloak that you had, but it recalls to you that type. You see horses of the sort of breed and standing that your grandmother always talked about. These great big black Germanic stallions. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, cool. And I think all the other Saxons they regard you with more curiosity than anything else. Maybe one of them comes up to you and he claps you on the shoulder and he says, "Ah, brother, it's good to have you back in the fold." Yeah.
Oh, you fought well today, my friend. You fought well. I must congratulate you. Even in defeat, you are fierce and noble warriors.
Yeah, his companion next to him, who has long flaxen hair, she kind of laughs at that and she says, "You and your friends, Hrethric, are known to us, for it was you who kidnapped King Octa in a previous battle. It was regarded as tactically significant that we counter your team specifically."
Please, I'm no thief in the night. Octa nobly surrendered to me on the field. I did not kidnap him, and it hardly could be said that I captured him. He saw the tide of battle, and he wisely chose to hand me his sword.
Yeah, she spreads her hands and she says, "What is this? A Saxon who doesn't enjoy boasting?" And then she claps you on the shoulder again. "Please, you fought well, but now you will come back with us. We will treat you with the honor that a prisoner of ours deserves, and then we will return you safely to your family."
Let us feast.
Yeah. So you all begin marching out, and Nidian and Delane, you all begin, bringing the wounded back into the city of St. Albans and into the castle for anybody who is a significant figure who needs medical chirurgery. So of course you pick up and you carry Dwinwin with you. So what were the wounds that you suffered, Dwinwin? Do you remember what it was that struck you down?
I got knocked off my horse because I was like, I remember being boldly charging forward one round and succeeding.
Awesome.
And being like, yes, I'm going to do this again. And then it was like, no, I'm not. But I can't really remember. I feel like it was maybe like a body wound somewhere, like a spear maybe. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mark it down.
Yeah.
I currently have 15 HP.
How much?
15.
Oh, well, that was after we did all of the weeks of recovery for you. So currently you're unconscious.
Right. So that hasn't happened yet.
Yes. Yeah. This is we're seeing the moments right after the battle.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Elaine and Nidian, I guess if Elaine is the one who's wandering around looking for Hrethric, maybe Nidian, you've been the one who's been tasked for finding Dwinwin, yeah?
Yeah, I self-appointed myself to that.
Awesome. So when you find her, what do you do?
I believe her squire's the one who got her out of there, right?
Oh yeah,
or got them out of there.
Maybe so.
Yeah, Ellen Page.
Yeah.
My page squire.
So I go up. Yeah, so I've
Emma.
So I guess I just go over and be like, Ellen, how is she doing? Because I don't remember her name. I'm sorry, I don't remember this player's name.
Yeah, she looks at you. She says, "My name's Emma. She's still breathing."
Oh God. Where's the closest Kyurgin? Is there
Yeah, I think
something I can do to be that?
There's probably a set of wagons that are going around the field, and it's like, everybody who looks like they might be okay gets put into one wagon, and everybody who isn't put into the other one. So, you flag them down and bring them over, and you lay Dwinwin out carefully next to a pair of other knights who, one of them is awake but only barely, clearly delirious, and the other one is, again, in the pallor of death, much like Dwinwin herself.
It would be impolite or impossible for me to hand deliver her to the surgeon.
I mean, you could certainly accompany the wagon.
I couldn't fireman carry, and do that thing, being like, she needs help badly, I can't do that thing. Okay, fine.
You could probably carry her in your arms.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not fireman carry because she's a little hurt.
No, like just or whatever, in front of the hands. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
But anyways,
we don't
have
to. And you realize you can't give her into someone else's care. You have to see it through yourself.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I want to play medieval ER here, so let's do it. So who's the handsome George Clooney who gets to help her?
Get your blue gloves on.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What do you do when you are?
I'm not actually any good at all with first aid, but you're my friend, and since I want to help you, so
yeah, you can stop the bleeding, maybe.
Yeah.
Do that, like that type of thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I think didn't Emma already do that?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking of something dramatic.
Sure. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I do that, right? Like I apply, I staunch the blood, and I take care of you, and yeah, I just want to have a moment. I just wanted to express just how much Nidian is trying to take care of you in this moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To get you, make sure you get the care that you need right now.
Maybe she like rolls awake in like her unconscious stupor and looks up and sees you or something.
Totally.
And
yeah, because. Yeah, I feel partly responsible. I don't feel partly. I feel like a majority stake responsible.
This was your leadership.
So
Nidian.
I want and I've already lost a friend. I've already lost a friend on the battlefield. Not again.
Yeah. Let's role play through that real quick. That's fun.
Yeah.
So she like looks up at you and then she has like a weak smile. She's like, Nidian, I knew you would help me off with the battlefield. Did we win?
Yeah, we won. It's because of you, and I say and carry her off.
No, it was all of us. You led us the right direction, like you always do.
It was that's so good. But I have known no greater knights than us four. We truly have something special, and yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Isn't this like the third battle that Dwinwin has exited the field unconscious?
Yeah,
this is like tradition by now.
It's true. I mean, we really should talk about changing your banner from something than a target.
It's nice.
A series of concentric circles alternating red and white.
It's just a portrait of me with like a spear through my chest.
Yeah,
and my heart a heart and a spear.
Family heraldry changing before our eyes.
Your
metal. No, I mean, I'm fucking tough. I don't go down. I go down, but I bounce right back.
But you don't.
Is your metal armor like magnetic or something?
I am metal.
Yeah.
It's just metal. Okay.
All right. So Nidian, you carry Dwinwin in your arms into the castle at St. Albans, and Dwinwin, after this conversation, you see, the blood streaked and dirt and sweat streaked face of Nidian, looking down at you, carrying you into the castle, and you sink down into the warm black embrace of unconsciousness, and then you open your eyes and tell me what the gates of death look like for Dwinwin.
Oh. Sure. I mean, obviously her lineage is there waiting for her. Like her mother is standing in her armor from, I can't remember what it's called, what she did. She was like a
Justakar.
Justakar, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, her mother before her, and you know that she's like, they're all holding swords in salute to me, like about to join them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you see a stranger's hand fall on your mother's shoulder, and she steps aside, and a young man wearing robes of all white with long white hair and a closely trimmed beard steps forwards, and at his side, in his left hand, he carries a sword that shines, and it's made of pure light. And he steps forwards and he says, Dwinwin, I have spoken with your family. I have an urgent quest, and I need a great knight to accompany me. They have agreed to let you join me. And you recognize this man now that he's speaking as Merlin.
Stop it.
And shocking.
Merlin, what are you doing at the gates of death?
And he points behind you. And when you turn to look, you see a large black castle, stone or obsidian maybe. And from the top of it flutters a black banner with a great red dragon emblazoned on it. And you hear this low roar sort of rumble through the earth and sound around you. And he points to the castle and he says, there in that castle rests a great red worm. I need someone to slay it for me. And he holds out this glowing sword of light to you. He says, will you help me in this?
Yes. I don't know. She does. What does she do? She bows down to him or something and says, oh, of course I will, great Merlin. I am at your service.
Yeah. He sort of blushes and he pulls on your hands. He pulls you up on your feet. He says, no. Great Sir Knight. You and your friends and your loyalty are the saviors of England. Now go to your duty.
She nods.
Yeah, so you take this glowing sword from him, and it when you close your fingers around it, you feel like back through the lineage of history, this great sense of justice and truth flowing through your heart.
Yeah.
And you stride towards the gates of the castle. So,
yeah.
Elaine and Nidian.
That's awesome.
Elaine and Nidian, it's probably like 5 p.m. now, the day after the battle, and Dwinwin is being attended to by a set of very competent chirurgeons who are changing poultices and grinding herbs and pouring water down into her mouth to help her stay hydrated through all of this. However, the mood at the castle of St. Albans is actually greatly victorious, for even though the four of you had this really strong struggle and a really hard time in battle, and I think maybe you've even heard a couple of sly comments from other knights who acquitted themselves greatly in battle. They're kind of like, oh, Nidian, it looks like not quite living up to your dad just yet.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, there's all sorts of boasting going around about I struck through the left flank and single-handedly slew a unit of horse skull warriors. I captured loot from their camp. I was the first through the gates of the city. And y'all are kind of like, huh? Yeah.
Glory is a young man's game. Says the youngest knight in the team.
Yeah, how do you feel about that kind of boasting going on and you join in?
No, in reality though, or in reality of that is this game. Nidian's Nidian's not going to take that at all.
Okay.
Nidian's a very proud knight when it comes to his battle prestige.
Now, you are actually a very modest knight in general.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I guess I have to roll against my modesty.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Let me see if I'm able to swallow it.
Yeah.
but I did lose a point of modesty. So
Yeah,
like I
you're
am
not
15,
16.
not
You're
16.
not required.
I'm not 16
you can do
anymore.
what you want, but
So let's see the dice decide. Oh, I am.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So within your modesty, how do you respond to this?
Yeah, I play. I guess I have to go along with it, or do I compliment them? What would be the? I don't want to. Okay. Yeah. Like there has to be an expression or saying about how you can't win them all, essentially, right? Like I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I would.
Cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot winneth.
Oh no! I know. Obviously, what I say is like, well, even the best laid plans of mice and men awfully go awry, and a battlefield is certainly the place that.
Yeah, I think
the
knight you're speaking with jumps in, and a battlefield is certainly not a place for mice. Ah! Yeah, they toast each other with goblets of wine, and they walk.
Yeah. But it's certainly a place for friends, as I grab him and bring him back in and being like, we're good. We're just jesting. We're buddies.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, Nids.
Yeah. So yeah, like there's going to be a huge feast this evening, and there are people strolling around and greeting some of the knights that performed very nobly in the battle, and inviting them to feast with Uther in the central hall of the castle. And Roderick comes down to the sick chamber where Elaine, Nidian, and Dwinwin are, and he approaches the two of you, and he claps the two of you on each shoulder, and he says, "Elaine, Nidian, I'm so glad to see that you have weathered the storm. And Dwinwin, how is she?"
I've been at her side and stuff, so like at this point we know that she's gonna pull through, right?
Yeah, well, she's out of the worst danger. Like she's not gonna die tonight.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you can keep her wounds clean, if you can keep her resting, if you can, keep her under good medical care for a couple weeks, she'll pull through problem.
Perfect. So what I say is like we saved her from death's door, but the long road of recovery is still one that has to be walked slow and steadily. We will keep our eyes on it.
He nods. He says, "Tell me."
That one's a fighter.
She is. She's
I've seen her.
This
is the worst one you ever had.
Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't even nearly her worst, most egregious wound that she's ever had, or grievous wound, right? Yeah. This is
pretty bad. I almost die this time. It was pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Roderick, he gestures to you, Nidian, and he says, "Son, come over here with me for a moment."
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulls you to the corner of the room, and then he turns to you and says, "Nidian, what happened? You were so impressively skilled in the previous battle. I expected you to be striking straight at the heart of the enemy army, but it sounds from the report that you and your friends were unable to make significant impact."
Yes, our blade was blunted on the... Well, I'm not going to lie to you, sir, my lord. The king... I believe the king has a personal vendetta against us after our capture, or what do you call it? Hostage, right?
He surrendered to you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
After surrendering to us in the battle of... So what? We believe that Lindsay, was it Lindsay? Yeah. Believe that the king has wisened up to our tactics, and perhaps I was haughty in not adjusting for that.
I understand. Well, some of the most glorious participants in the battle have been invited to feast with the king himself, but I'm sad to say, son, that your name was not on the list. But now that
would I want it to be, my lord.
Now that I know what
Not
has
after
happened,
this.
I'm certain that in future battles you will adjust your tactics accordingly and bring us to great victory.
Oh, we will.
Oh, this battle has scraped off the hubris and pride I might have taken earlier, leaving a keen, sharp steel beneath.
I see, lad. Well, I know that you are here caring for your friend, but if you and Elaine can bring yourselves, I hope that you will join in the celebrations this evening. The entire castle will be celebrating our decisive victory over that Saxon warlord.
Oh, did I make a faux pas calling him a king to us? Is that wrong?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, he is a king.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Very well. I will muster.
Wonderful. And he
my
claps
friends.
you on the shoulder again and strides back out. And as he strides out into the hall, he sees a steward passing by, and he calls out, "Steward, more wine!" And he wanders off.
Yeah, I deep sigh, being like, all right, well, I just got chewed out by my boss. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course, that's fine.
Good. So, Hrethric, by this time, your Saxon army and your fellow prisoners have all been taken to the castle at Hastings. And I think they probably have converted some number of the rooms in the castle into makeshift holding cells. They're still furnished well, and they still have water for washing with, and all of the decorations that were British have been stripped out. And there's wonderful colored tapestries that are hanging from the walls, and a small altar to Wotan sitting on one of the desks. So it's all of this like it's in an English-built structure. However, it's all furnished and decorated in the Saxon style. And maybe after a few hours of getting yourself settled and getting a little refreshment into you, there's a banging on the door. And it's the flaxen-haired warrior woman from earlier. She opens the door and she says, "Sir Knight, our king would fain speak with you."
So be it. Yeah. So I mean, at this point, I hope I've had some time to clean up.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't have a change of clothes, obviously, but yeah, I will. So yeah. I guess I'm probably like finishing like braiding my hair or something after washing up, and
Cool.
so dry my hands and follow.
She leads you through the halls of this castle, and you pass like a number of signs and symbols of the worship of Wotan. You see references to Saxon religion sort of above the doors and in altars at various places. You notice as you pass a large common room that there are a number of men and women participating in a large textile weaving operation, and they're creating really sumptuous fabrics that are being hand woven by these people in this room.
Cool.
Yeah, you pass another room and you look in. As you pass, there's a raven-haired woman who appears to have been gravely injured in the battle, and she's being attended by 3 flaxen-haired chirurgeons who are all carefully washing their hands and stitching her wounds with gut thread. And there's another man and a woman looking on in concern, watching over this. And the woman who's leading you turns to you and says, "She's a friend of my family. She'll mend well if she survives the night." And she leads you into a large, great hall where very many of King Octa's warriors are sitting around at the tables or on the floors, drinking mead from flagons, or eating roast cuts of meat. And in the center of the hall, not at like the back where the throne is, it's really in the center. There's a large circular table placed out, and King Octa is sitting at it with a number of his most closest and most chosen warriors. And this is very unusual for y'all, or according to what you are used to seeing from the lords that you know in England, is what I mean.
I see.
So he sees you and he stands and he beckons you over. He says, "Hrethric, come join us."
I bow and join them. Is there a place made for me at the table?
Yeah, I think maybe Octa himself. He grabs a wooden slab and he places a hunk of bread and meat on it. He passes it to you, hands you a cup, and he says, "Sit, please."
I drink, raise a glass to them, and try to like. I'm probably like shaking with fatigue and PTSD at this point.
Yeah.
So, but I'm trying to master myself and trying not to like just inhale. So I just try to like take maybe like a little bit longer sip than is polite, and then I'm not that they care about fucking manners, but and then just like take one bite of the bread and but without like just. I'm wounded and shit. Like I'm still. I'm not done with this battle yet. I'm gonna live with this battle for a few more nights.
Sure. So you are maintaining your temperance in the face of temptation of the goods that are being offered to you.
Yeah.
Sure. So he sort of smiles and he lets you eat, and the others are all just sort of finishing their meals, so they continue eating and talking. How much of the Saxon language do you speak? How much Germanic do you speak?
I don't know. What are the fucking language rules in this crazy game? Like, there are no language rules, right?
No, this is narrative.
Yeah. So, like I said, I probably can, understand like bits and pieces. Like, I kind of remember my grandma and my grandfather arguing and shit, and so I can kind of like pick up like the sentiment of things, and I can probably say like, where's the bathroom, or pass the mead. Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I'm terribly fluent. Just like, I'm a second generation immigrant. So just I know a little bit about the old world.
Yeah. So let's see. He gestures around the table, and he begins. Octa does, and he begins introducing various of the men and women around you.
Sure.
Yeah. He says this is Sun. She is one of my great Wotan's chosen, and this is Vare. He is one of my horsehead warriors, and this is Silva, and she is again another one of Wotan's chosen, and they are some of my closest and most trusted warriors. And these three and others, Hrethric, they are the warriors that I said to them at the start of the battle. Watch out for this man. You must know him, and you must counter his tactics. How judge you their fighting, Hrethric?
Your warriors are always most impressive, most formidable, Octa. They, without a doubt, they fight fearlessly and flawlessly.
Yes, they served their roles well, and they will feast with me in Valhalla on the day that we fall.
Indeed, but an honored place at the table, I hope.
But you, Hrethric, do you think that you will enter into Valhalla?
I have never considered it. I have always been always been focused on what comes tomorrow when the sun rises. And will I raise an axe? Will I sire a knight? Will the crops come in?
You see, Hrethric, this is the difference between you and me. You are a knight, and it is right and good that you think about tomorrow. But I am a king, and I must think about my tomorrow, and your sons' and daughters' tomorrows. Do you know why I am here, Hrethric, in this castle, in this land?
Hold on a second. Population pressure in Denmark?
Something like that, yeah.
Crop failure, like endemic economic problems. Some kingly vision that you have had has driven you here, no doubt.
An interesting answer, but it is not quite so dramatic. The floods in Saxony killed so many of our crops, and
Right the first time.
and our people were starving, and so when King Vortigern, the previous king, invited us here to serve him and to fight as his army, with the promise of land of our own for our aid, I looked at my people, and I looked at my people's tomorrow, and I said to myself, what must a leader do? What
I believe
choice,
we are saying the same thing.
what
Exactly.
choice must he make? Yes, but Hrethric, tell me, a Saxon yourself, you have spent much time among these English, but they do not wish to honor their ancestors' deal. Tell me of these men and these women. What am I to make of them?
Yeah, they bleed and breathe just as you do, and they fight and fear just as you do. And if you take their lands, they will fight you for them.
Take. Hrethric, it was never our intention to take, merely to be given what was willingly offered, and then the terms changed.
No, he's trying to murder us. I don't think that's true. Sorry.
I cannot speak to Vortigern or Ambrosius or Uther, and I cannot speak to the vagaries of the mind of a king.
I suppose they are thinking of their own people's tomorrows.
And truly, they're fallible and they succumb to sin. They are kings, but they are also just men, Octa.
Yeah. He nods. He says, "Well, your time with the English has given you a measure of wisdom. I see that."
I hope he saw like the giant axe on his fucking head when I said that.
He probably remembers it clearly. Yeah, he says, "Thank you for your perspective on these issues."
Let me say this one thing: treat them honorably, Octa, and you will be treated honorably.
Yeah, he thinks on that for a moment, and you see his face kind of screw up, and he says, "Hrethric, I want to believe you, and
Go ahead. Finish.
It is clear that as a man who has lived among the English for his life, it is interesting to hear you say these things, for I did not believe them possible to be uttered from someone educated by the English, and it gives me hope that you are able to speak these words. But your king, this Uther, he does not act in this way."
Kings, man. Fucking kings. Look, as I said, I know nothing for kings, but I am speaking not of kings, I'm speaking of my companions. I'm speaking of those who have stood shoulder to shoulder with me in the lines against your Saxons, against your warriors, who shed their very life's blood to fight for their homeland against what they believe to be wrongful incursions. And I say to you, you treat them with honor, and they will treat you with honor. Kings, I am no king. I will never be a king. This land will never accept me as a king. But noble warriors, that we are.
Yeah, he crosses his arms and he looks at you with new appraisal in his eyes, and he says, "Hrethric, you should stay with us for a time. I was originally going to ask, why not rejoin us? Rejoin your brothers. But now I see that would be folly, for you will be more valuable to us back with the English, helping us establish a peace between our people.
There you go, buddy. There you go. I yearn to see my wife and children, Octa. So when I will write them and ask them to send the ransom speedily. And when I have your permission, I will take leave. But for now, I am your guest, and I am at your will, my lord.
Very well. Well then, Herethric, I will that you live well, that you enjoy your time with us in Hastings, and that when your ransom is delivered, you return to your wife and children and lands.
You are most gracious.
Yeah. So, Elaine and Nidian, it's sort of early evening, and the party is starting to get into swing. There are meats and fruits and cheeses spread across every service. There's wines and beers aplenty. How do you comport yourselves given the festive atmosphere?
Not much of a partier this time around, Steven, to tell you the truth. Yeah. Nidian's going to take it very easy. Nidian's, I mean, he's kind of torn between, obviously he still wants to put on a good show for his lord and stuff, but also, like, he does miss Lady Jenna dreadfully. So this is the first time he's taken away. And he can't help but think when he was returning Dwinwin that could have been him, and instead.
Yeah.
And now he realizes that there's just another component to dying and what that means.
Nidian's
that
got
he
something
never really
to live
sunk
for.
into him. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. So you're just a little more subdued than usual.
Yeah.
Elaine, as you wander, amongst this celebration, just sort of seeing who's out and about, and rubbing shoulders with important other knights who hold important holdings. You're wandering past the central grand hall at one point, and the door slams open, and you see a knight standing there with with a wolf at her side. And a dark green cloak wrapped around her shoulders, and she holds a skin of wine, and she sees you and she says, "Elaine, my friend," and she closes the doors behind her as she steps out from this central hall. She puts her arm around you and she says, Elaine, can I tell you of the glory I earned in battle?"
Yeah, I'm only here because I should be. I dressed myself as finely as I could. I cleaned myself up, but there's bags under Elaine's eyes. She's really stressed out. Mm-hmm. One of her friends is gravely injured. Another is gone completely. She misses her family. But I think she's trying to be a little bit more reckless at this particular party. She's trying to let loose, because she's so tightly wound.
Okay.
So she might be a little bit sloppy.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, she's like, yes. Caitlin? Catherine?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yes.
Oh, my dear friend Chelsea. Yes. Tell me of your glories. I want to hear the whole story.
She produces another wineskin from under her cloak, and she presses it into your hand. She says, "Come with me. We will go up onto the ramparts, and I will tell you the tale of my fight against a Saxon giant."
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So she leads you up some stairs, and she says, "Yes, it was through the battlefield. A group of Wotans chosen. They broke and they ran away, and a woman came striding across the battlefield, and I could feel the earth rumbling with each step that she took. Boom, boom, boom. She had a massive club that was a single bone the length of your entire body. Truly, it was astounding."
Truly.
Yes, she and I locked eyes across the battlefield, and she shouted something at me in that language they speak, and I knew that this was my moment of glory. Yeah. So she leads you up onto the ramparts, and the two of you drink for a while and talk of your trade favorite tales of glory.
Awesome.
As you drink.
And milk that up.
Do you have a favorite tale of glory that you share?
From this most recent battle?
Not necessarily. It's sort of like she tells you about this battle, and then she's like, "Have you ever had anything happen like that in a battle?" Or like, "What are your favorite? What glories have you earned for yourself?"
I tell her about the creature that I wrote down, but I forgot the name of, the Yale.
Yeah.
I tell her about our capture of the Yale
With
and
the two
how
horns.
just absolutely magnificent it was, and how I wish we could have taken it away to a better place and had it for our children to enjoy.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, she's thrilled. Dwinwin, you stand before these great black gates at this black stone castle.
Yes.
And from inside you hear this low rumbling sound, and there's like ash falling through the air, and the sky is a flat gray expanse of nothingness. When you look off to the horizon seems almost infinitely far away, as if there's no curvature at all to this world. It's just, it fades eventually into flat grayness.
Almost as if it's in my mind, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, what do you do?
I mean, obviously, I charge towards the gates.
Cool.
I mean, Merlin gave me a mission.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do it.
Do you have a horse here in this netherworld?
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
just like my horse in the real world,
Awesome.
but like bigger and more glorious.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. What's your horse's name? Do you have a name for your horse?
I think I do. If my horse didn't die, where's my horse? Oh, I named her Andarte.
Andarte.
After the Celtic warrior goddess.
Awesome.
Andarte.
Yeah,
I think it's Andarte. It might be Andarte. I can't remember.
Is there a symbol for this goddess?
Maybe. Maybe she might be a horse or a shield or a sword or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever it is, whether it's like a shield or a sword or something like that, there's a patch emblazoned on your horse's breast where the fur shines white with the symbol of this Celtic warrior goddess. So
cool.
you mount up on this horse and you feel the power of this beast under your legs. And you go stampeding towards the gates of the castle, which slam open in front of you before you hit them. And inside this massive hall, there are burning braziers of starlight that hang from each column.
Cool.
And there's like 50 columns on each side, just down this massive hall that's probably like 500,000 feet long or something like that. And at the end of it is this mountain of coil of serpent, bright red, and it has two wickedly taloned front legs that claw at a throne around which it is coiled. And it looks at you with its burning eyes, which are literally like on fire, like streaming flame, and it opens its mouth and it roars.
Whoa. I think my horse like rears up in fear, and I do too. Like Dwinwin's heart skips a couple beats as she stares at this massive beast. It's like bigger than anything she's ever seen.
Yeah. How's your valorous, Dwinwin?
I can check that for you.
Yeah.
Where are my traits? I am very valorous.
Check it out. Why don't you give me a test of your valorous?
Okay. I'm at a 17. Pretty high.
Awesome.
That's cool. I think you roll under those.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You want to roll under? It's the Price is Right. The closest to the number without going over is better. So you master your fear for certain.
Cool.
And you're able to take action. So what do you do?
Well, maybe the underbelly of the beast might be its most sensitive spot. So she's gonna pick that out and charge towards it.
Cool. Yeah. Give me a. I guess as you charge, the sword in your hand turns into a lance, just a long spear of light that you're holding. So go ahead and use your
My
spear expertise skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nail it. Let's see. This worm strikes out at you with its bite.
Oh no. That's okay.
Okay, so you go flashing forwards, and it dips its head, and your lance bounces off of the hard scales of the top of its head, and then it slashes at you with its teeth, and it hits you, but you take no damage to your hit points.
Okay.
Would you please roll 1d6?
Okay. I got 3.
3. Let's see. Where's that aging table?
Oh no.
Yes.
As long as none of my children die, I feel okay.
You lose 1 point of strength, Dwinwin.
Oh no, my strength. There it goes. So I'm at a 16 now.
And now that you're in close combat with this thing, it's lashing out at you with claws and roaring to the ceiling, and you see black smoke curling out of its mouth. But your lance has transformed back into a sword, and you're able to strike against it in close combat. Your horse rears up and kicks out at it with its hooves, which glow silver with starlight as they lash at this monster.
Yes.
Go ahead and make your sword attack.
Oh yeah. I'm aiming for the neck this time since I'm in close.
Okay.
So she reaches out with reserves her strength or whatever after losing some and tries to make a strong blow to the neck.
Are you okay? Cool.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
I got an 8.
Yeah, so it strikes at you with a wickedly curved talon. Oh, and it hits you, and you feel these black talons carve through your flesh and bone, leaving a just like a line of cold across your chest where they pass. Roll 1d6 again.
Oh no. I feel as though my reserves are being stolen by this dragon metaphor.
Oh, you lose another point of strength.
God damn it.
Yeah. Do you feel any passions burning in your chest as you fight this dragon?
I do. I mean, I just left all of my dead family behind, so I'm reminded of my love of family. It strengthens me as I think of my mother and her sword and the glory.
Yeah.
So I could roll that.
Do.
Here it goes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you've left your family behind, and you know that they're waiting for you at the gates of death. Not just your family who's passed before you, but also your wife and your husband and your children back in the world of the living. So now, with your heart infused with this strength,
yes,
strike again.
Yes. Infused with a +10.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
all
yeah,
right. So I think this worm rears up high above this throne as your horse rears onto its back legs, and it opens its great jaw, and you see a burning fire glowing deep within its mouth, and it strikes down at you, and you hold out your sword, thrusting to meet his attack, and your sword goes straight through the roof of its mouth.
Yes.
And it sticks in this creature, and it's flailing around, and your horse sort of side dances away from the flailing coils of this dragon that are sort of undulating like waves of an ocean in this hall. And it collapses to the floor with its mouth open, and the sword sticking straight up out of the roof of its mouth.
No, poor dragon.
And you see sort of all of the skin of this red dragon blacken and peel off, lifting up like ash. And the whole beast turns to a formless lump of stone, the head of which is sticking up out of this center of this hallway with a sword jutting straight out of it. And then your vision begins to fade into blackness.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Elaine and Nidian. Elaine, you're off on the rooftops. Yeah, drinking wine with Sir Chelsea. And Nidian, where are you? Where do you spend most of your time during this this party?
Yeah, man. Who were the knights that came by who were giving me crap earlier?
Knight Boris and Doris.
Boris and Doris. All right. Honestly, I feel like I probably would have been I probably would have hung out with them a little bit early on, but then later on, I just want to be around my friends more. So I probably would have, whatever Elaine went to, I probably would have just ended up following.
Come find us.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. You head up onto the ramparts. You eventually find where Elaine and Sir Chelsea are, and Sir Chelsea at least is very enthusiastic about seeing you and invites you over. Elaine, how are you feeling now, late in the evening after you've had?
I'm feeling great.
Okay.
I feel great. I got my buddy here. I got my other buddy just came up. Feeling pretty buzzed.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Awesome. Yeah. So you sit down and you start joining in the revelry, and then let's see. Yeah,
I'm so particularly sober. I'm probably one of the most sober people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't notice.
Yeah.
Elaine is.
That's my hope. I'm putting on a facade of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's around midnight, and you're talking and drinking and exchanging, old war stories, and you hear someone scream from down inside the castle, and then you hear the cry be taken up by a number of other voices. What do you do?
Oh yeah, it's on.
I look to Elaine and then be like,
What was that, guys? Someone might need our help.
let's go. And yeah, right. And
Yeah. Sir Chelsea stands up. She's confused, and she rushes off down the stairs with you. You as you come down the stairs, you see. I think Boris and Doris. They've both been in and out of like the King's Central Hall. They acquitted themselves very nobly, and they were invited to serve with the king. You see Boris down at the bottom of the stairs, sort of like holding onto a torch sconce and vomiting, and he's throwing up blood.
Oh God.
Yeah, and he looks at you and he croaks out one word. Treachery, and then he collapses on the stairs.
I grab that torch and like we got to go.
Yeah. As soon as you burst out into the hall, you see people running everywhere, and there are bodies just like fallen all over the place. It looks like maybe a full 1/3 of the people in this room have fallen and are no longer moving.
Are people still fighting?
God.
There's no fighting at all. There's just confusion.
Oh.
People are running all over. Everybody's drunk. You see that the door to the Great Hall is cracked open, and there's a person who is sprawled on the floor, facing out of the Great Hall.
I want to go.
Elaine,
to
let's
there.
leave this great. Yeah, let's leave the Great Hall. Let's go, and we go to that direction.
Yeah.
Who's sprawled out?
The bodies have hit the floor.
You don't recognize the knight who's sprawled out on the floor, but you look into the Great Hall, and there is little movement. There are still some people who are, crawling towards the door or sort of holding themselves on one knee or something like that. But almost everyone in the room is still, including on the throne at the back of the hall, Uther, slumped over in death.
Shite.
Nidian, you hear a voice to your right. It says, Nidian. What do you do?
It's Earl Roderick, isn't it?
It is. You turn and you
Yeah,
see your
I know.
lord down on
fucking
one
know.
knee, grasping the edge of a table. He tries to pull himself standing, but he collapses.
I help
back
him.
to
Oh
one
no,
knee.
I can I help him before he does that?
Yeah, totally. You go and you grab him by the
immediately.
elbows.
Yeah, my lord. Yeah, I rushed her,
Oh,
and I say, like, Elaine, give me a hand, and
yes.
He reaches out to you, Elaine, and he sort of bats at you with a hand.
I grab it.
Yeah, and he sort of he like fumbles at your clothing, and he grabs the wineskin that you're holding and he throws it to the ground. And he says, "Poison." And then he collapses in your arms, Nidian.
No, my father-in-law.
No.
Yeah. So there's great confusion throughout the castle. People come rushing in to see what has happened. People draw their swords and they look around and then they put their swords away and then they like draw their swords again.
Yeah.
They're like, I am a knight and I must sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Can I
cannot sword a poison.
I
No.
jump in here with something, Steven?
Yeah, totally.
So Sir Elaine, Hrethrick's annoying, BFF fan,
Oh yeah.
is of course he'd be in your company. He was part of our unit. He wouldn't have been feted or celebrated.
Yep.
So his eyes go wide at the carnage, right? And maybe he's even a little sick to his stomach
Yeah.
at the carnage. But he looks to you, Elaine, and to you, Nidian, and you see like some like wild idea form in his brow, and he dashes over to Uther
Okay.
and he draws the sword
Okay.
that's like probably like hanging from the back of the throne or whatever. He draws the sword and he hands it to you, Elaine. He says, "You take this. The lake. You were with Merlin at the lake. You two. You're the only.
Merlin. What good does Merlin do?
Only you know. Only you know. Take it. Hide it from the Saxons."
We don't know it was the Saxons. We don't know who it was.
Even if it wasn't they're coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Saxons are coming.
Yeah. I mean, you know that this sword is this great and powerful artifact, and if it fell into the wrong hands, it could be really treacherous for the Kingdom of England.
The lake. Take it to the lake.
Gods be damned. I grab it, and I'll grab it from him. Yeah, my lord just died too, and our king's right there. Shit. Yeah, I grab it, and okay. Do I remember where the lake is from here?
Yeah, you can
I would know?
definitely, if you two ride off in the night,
To the lake.
you can find your way to the lake for sure.
Yeah.
How far is it?
It's probably a few hours ride.
Okay.
Yeah. It maybe you two have a moment where you talk to each other and you're like, oh, something terrible has just happened. Our king is dead. Our lord is dead. Who knows who else may fall. It is dire news for all of England. We can't let this sword fall into the wrong hands. It's the sort of weapon that's only meant for the High King, right?
How
The
old is
uniter of
Ellen?
England. Or Britain, right?
Yeah. So what was that, Elaine?
How old is Ellen? Is he like a teenager?
He's like 22 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
A young
he's
knight.
not that far off from us, though, really.
He's
Right,
like
he's-
26, 27, right?
Okay.
Yeah. He's a generation younger than you, right? Like a knightly generation younger than you.
Yeah.
Come, Ellen, come with us. Come with us, please. Hrethrick trusted you, as do I.
Very well.
Elaine's eyes light up at the sign. Herethric trusted you.
I know he's thinking like, I gotta find Herethric. Oh,
Yeah.
he's not here.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So, Elaine,
Yes.
you're standing on the shore of this lake, sitting on horseback with Excalibur sitting across your lap.
Yes. Do it. Do it.
I unhorse.
Okay.
I begin to wade into the lake
Okay.
as far as I can, like chest level.
Yeah.
I guess I try to get as deep as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can swim,
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
but I know how important it is to get this sword as central to the lake as possible. Like,
Yeah.
as far away from the shore as I can.
Totally.
So I kind of like do a pathetic flail out into deeper waters and like attempt to tread.
Yeah, totally. You feel yourself sinking beneath the waves, and it's just like, oh no, it's too deep, and I don't know what I'm doing.
It's
and
too
then
deep.
The mists on the lake part, and a hand reaches down to you.
Yes.
And it grabs you by the cloth of your mail, and it pulls you up out of the water, and it stands you on the surface of the water. And standing in front of you is this incredibly pale woman wearing all white hair, and she glows with a soft moonlight. And she looks at you, and she simply beckons.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, and the two of you begin striding across the lake, and you walk for what seems like hours. Hours pass as you stride across this lake, and slowly the mists part ahead of you, and you see a brilliant white tower sitting on the surface of this lake. And
Wow.
she turns to you, and she gestures into the tower.
I obey immediately.
Yeah.
I walk
You
toward the tower.
As you stride forwards, you see Roman lettering across the mantle of this tower. It says Avalon. And inside, you see a great stone sarcophagus carved in the visage of a man.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a beautiful crown sitting on his head. His face looks old and wise and sad. And his hands are rested like this, but there's nothing in them. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
This seems like the game is cueing me to place an item, a strategic quest item into the slot. So
Yeah, but the cutscene is baller.
it's so cool. Yes, I climb. I'm imagining it as this like huge thing.
Yeah.
Just this. I'm dwarfed by it. So
Yeah.
I clamber up and place the sword into the hands of this stone figure.
Yeah, totally. You place the sword into his hands, and a brilliant white light shines out of the sword and blinds you. And you feel water splash all around you as you fall to your knees. And you open your eyes, and you're just in the shallows of the lake. And Nidian and Alain are behind you. And the sword is gone.
Wow, what?
Yeah.
What did you see? What
I
happened?
thought you drowned. You were where?
You went under the water.
You went under.
A
Wait.
woman, a beautiful woman. She walked me to this ivory tower. It was huge. It was the largest thing I'd ever seen, and I feel the sword is where it should be.
Yeah.
Safe.
Very nice. So, Dwinwin, when you recover your senses in this hall, there's this young Merlin standing next to you. And he places a hand on your shoulder and he says,
He's got a big head, little body.
and he says, Dwinwin, your service for England was necessary, but you have laid the foundation for a great age to come. Thank you. Now, your wife, your husband, your children, they are missing you. Are you ready to return?
Yes.
Yeah. And he grasps you by the wrist in that sort of like, wrist grabby handshake motion, right?
Yeah.
And he pulls.
She returns the wrist grabby, your handshake.
Yeah, and he pulls and you wake up and you're lying in the sickbed in the castle at St. Albans.
Okay.
And I think that's where we will take our break. And when we come back, we'll go through a small epilogue for each character, and we will see what happens to you over the course of the Anarchy period and beyond.
Wow.
It's some like 28 days later shit for Dwinwin. She wakes up and
Everyone's dead.
everyone's dead.
Oh, God.
Everyone's been poisoned. There's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Words
Run.
are missing.
All right, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5 minutes.